Andre Johnson in the slot is just going to simply drop back, and they're going to get the ball in the open field to him. Carl Payman, they said, tackle him if you can, and he could not.
7th receiving touchdown for Andre Johnson. Chris Brown tacks on the extra point. Denver made it a 4-point game. Rosenfels and the Texans come right back with a touchdown pass to Andre Johnson. 24-13, chagrin on the Denver side.
Last season, no player was as durable or as valuable as Larry Johnson. On an NFL record 416 carries, LJ accounted for nearly half of the Chiefs' offense. His 1,789 rushing yards carried Kansas City into the playoffs and warranted a second trip to the Pro Bowl. After leading the league in rushing yards the last 2 seasons, expect even bigger numbers from the indestructible running back who has his eyes set on the record books.
I'm shooting the bold and the beautiful NFL jerseys from Reebok. Now, stick out that chest.
For Reebok official NFL jerseys and more, visit NASN.com.
It's college football bowl season again on NASN, and this December we bring you 15 of the best bowl games from across the NCAA. Catch all these great games plus the 5 BCS games live in January, only on NASN. Check NASN.com for schedules and information.
Sage Rosenfels with another 4th quarter touchdown pass. 12 total in the season, and 10 of them have come in the 4th quarter. He was 4 for 4 on that drive.
Some guys like playing under pressure, and some don't, huh?
Glenn Martinez fields the Chris Brown kick. Thrown back as he reaches the 30-yard line by Dreesen, the tight end. On special teams, Jay Cutler's turn. Still has 9:58 on the clock.
Yes, it's a glove. It's a baseball glove.
For Wilson gloves and much, much more, visit NASN.com, your home for North American sports merchandise.
NASN brings you unrivaled coverage of the best sports North America has to offer. Get the best seats in the house for the biggest games in the best leagues 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Watch the NFL from preseason all the way to the playoffs with over 60 regular season games, the postseason, and live coverage of Super Bowl 42 from Phoenix. Get live coverage of every game of the World Series and don't miss an inning of the MLB regular season with up to 260 regular season games and the All-Star Game live. Experience the most comprehensive coverage of the NHL anywhere in Europe with over 200 live regular season games, the 2008 NHL All-Star Game, and the Stanley Cup Finals live. NASN takes you to pit lane in the high-octane world of NASCAR with live Busch Series racing and keeps you up to date with the Nextel Cup and Truck Series with daily episodes of NASCAR Now. Get courtside with the best conferences in NCAA college basketball with a packed schedule of games between the top teams and unrivaled coverage of March Madness. See the power and skill of the finest players in college football with full season and bowl series coverage, including all the BCS games, live. And with all your favorite news, highlights, and analysis shows, including PTI and Around the Horn, you won't miss a minute from any of your favorite sports all season long. Log on to NASN.com now and join the world of NASN, your leader in North American sports.
Winner of this game for sure keeps playoff hopes alive. Handoff to Travis Henry. Hit in the backfield. Able to shake that tackle and then gets 3 yards before he's knocked out of bounds. Charlie Anderson hit him in the backfield, slowed him down.
Yeah, typically we see Jay Cutler with most of his success throwing to the right, but tonight it has been short passes to the left. 11 for 11 there for 90 yards and a touchdown. A little more trouble when he works it down the field. A couple of balls straight down the middle to the tight ends has been the difference there, but nothing deep. So let's give this secondary for the Houston Texans a little credit. They come in a bit maligned, but they're not giving up the big plays.
Henry, not much there. You mentioned that most quarterbacks see better to the right. That's why their numbers are better to the right. But in the chess game that is football, that means you put your best corners opposite that, right, on the left.
That's exactly right. Your left corner typically is the one that you want to have be the best player. And there's Travis Henry down, who has had his fair share of not only injury issues, but other issues this year.
Was suspended for failing a drug test for marijuana, appealed and exonerated. Back on the field, but injured at the moment.
The guys at PTI are on board to enlighten us on the lighter side of American sports.
A certain, how did the French say, I don't know what?
What means I don't know what.
They even embrace European culture. Well, at least they're gonna try.
Today, how did they say that in England, Mike?
No guess today, Maurice.
I guess I was very southern British. Good night, Europe. Here's the flags and the nation.
Pardon the interruption. Catch Mike and Tony exclusively here on NASN.
Just because you're thousands of miles from the nearest big league stadium doesn't mean you can't be a big league fan. Majestic Athletic, the official uniform supplier for all 30 Major League Baseball teams. Available now all over Europe at NASN.com.
It's college football bowl season again on NASN, and this December we bring you 15 of the best bowl games from across the NCAA. Catch all these great games plus the 5 BCS games live in January, only on NASN. Check NASN.com for schedules and information.
Travis Henry walked off the field. He's over on the Denver sideline now as the Broncos face a big 3rd down. Selvin Young in to replace Henry. Meanwhile, the Texans defense has stifled Marshall. Only 2 receptions this half. Scheffler has been Cutler's favorite target with 5 catches. Cutler scrambling and sacked. The 3rd sack of the game for Mario Williams, who says, send me to the Pro Bowl. The former #1 overall pick with his 3rd sack of the game.
Mario Williams in nickel situations gets to pick which side of the field he wants to rush from, and we have seen him pretty consistently tonight, moving back and forth, that time working against the tight end. Chad Mustard able to get the play, but what happened here was that as Jay Cutler looked left for Brandon Marshall, he wasn't there and had to pull it down.
Todd Sauerbrunn will punt. Jones dropped at the 30-yard line. Well, we said, Chris, one of the subplots today was the 2 young defensive ends, Mario Williams and Elvis Dumervil, making a case for the Pro Bowl. Dumervil has been negated by the Texans, and Williams has had a huge game.
Well, if you like to see somebody close strong, 8.5 sacks now in the last 5 games, and if you want to debate it, Reggie Bush or Vince Young or Mario Williams, if you're taking it solely on this season, it's really just no doubt whatsoever in my mind now. Mario Williams, we've seen Reggie Bush, who was asked to carry the load so much this year in New Orleans, not really able to do it there, and Vince Young not having a good season.
Boomerville not even in the game at the moment. Ron Dane breaking free. Puts on another move, and the stiff arm. Finally, Abdullah gets him down, but not until another big gain by the big man, Ron Dane, the former Wisconsin player who won the Heisman back in 1999.
Stretch play again. Everybody coming over here, and that time it's just simply going to pop straight ahead for Ron Dane. That is a massive hole. We talked about a little bit earlier, Tom, that anytime you end up
look at Leach
late in the game and Vontae Leach in front of you, it just gives you a great opportunity. Some of those injuries now starting to show up at the linebacker core too for the Denver Broncos.
Leach buried Nate Webster, and it went for 25 yards. This is Darius Walker, a little 1-2 action by the Texans rushing game. John Lynch forced to tackle Walker right at the first down line.
And it's important to talk about not only John Lynch and the plays that he's making out there, but this Denver defense essentially had to completely wipe the slate clean and start over. About the 5th game of the season, they understood that they could no longer play 7 in the box and play 4 back, which is what Jim Bates likes to do. They just gave up on it and started bringing John Lynch down towards the line of scrimmage because they had to, but they still can't stop the run because of those young defensive linemen.
Came up about a yard short of the first down. Walker. Decked and knocked sideways by DJ Williams, but still enough for the first down.
It's not often in the NFL you see somebody completely knocked off their feet by just a shoulder being dropped into them, but that was pretty impressive by DJ Williams. He's the man in the middle, and almost like a boxing knockout.
You know, with the playoff implications, you figure this might be a hard-hitting game, and it's lived up to that. Only the second regular season meeting between these two, and the first time that Kubiak and Shanahan have squared off against each other. Here's Dane. And, of course, Rick Smith, general manager, came over from the Broncos. 16 players, coaches, and administrators. There's Rick Smith, the general manager. To his left is Bob McNair, the owner of the Houston Texans. Paid, what, $1 billion for the franchise.
That's all. But you know, I like what they're doing here now. You know, they've taken shots at trying to rebuild the engine. You know, the heck with the hood ornaments. Let's go rebuild the engine. And Mario Williams and Amobi Okoye and the guys up front, that's where football games are won and lost. And if you win that battle, more often than not, the rest will take care of itself.
Play action fake. Rosenfeld's rolling to his left. Man wide open. Caught by Johnson. Out of bounds, just short of the touchdown. Rosenfels with that fake and boot, and then going to his left, throwing back, and came up about a yard short as Johnson made the catch against Champ Bailey.
Well, Mike Shanahan has to be thinking, I think I've taught these guys too well here. There we go with the stretch play that's been working so well. The bootleg off of it. Champ Bailey caught in man coverage against one of the best receivers in the game, Andre Johnson. This is what Shanahan has done to people year after year. Once he gets the running game going, the bootleg off of it, and now he's having to watch the other side of it.
First and goal, less than 5 minutes. The Broncos' season and playoff chances slipping away. Only a yard gain by Darius Walker. The Broncos still mathematically would have a chance if they lost tonight, but you'd have to be a math major to come up with a way that it would work. Johnson on the sideline, we're told it's his left arm that's injured.
This is just a completely different football team, though, when he's in there. You know, it just forces teams to do things in coverage that they wouldn't otherwise do. And that's even with a Champ Bailey on the other side of the ball. You still have to go back and play those safeties, or he's going to eat anybody up one-on-one.
Leach and Dane in the eye. Ron Dane. Penetration that time by the defense of the Broncos to stop the play. And who else? DJ Williams He's delivered some hits tonight.
Well, obviously, if you can hold the Texans to a field goal here, it still remains a 2-touchdown game at that point. So big play in the ball game right now, and wouldn't even be totally surprised to see this be 4-down territory and go for it twice.
From the 1-yard line, 3rd and goal. To the fullback, Leach for the touchdown.
Sometimes you just have to let the big dog eat too.
Well, he's made so many good blocks tonight that he deserves it. Throw him a bone. His first rushing touchdown of the season, only his 2nd carry of the season.
He is a devastating blocker, and he has worn out the Broncos tonight, and he gets to carry it over for the game winner.
Extra point good by Chris Brown. Rosenfels with the big pass to Andre Johnson to set it up. Then Leach scores. And the Texans looking good.
Last season, no player was as durable or as valuable as Larry Johnson. On an NFL record 416 carries, LJ accounted for nearly half of the Chiefs' offense. His 1,789 rushing yards carried Kansas City into the playoffs and warranted a 2nd trip to the Pro Bowl. After leading the league in rushing yards the last 2 seasons, expect even bigger numbers from the indestructible running back who has his eyes set on the record books.
(31-13) now with 3:20 left in the 4th quarter with that scoring drive. Blue indicates a run. That was a long one by Rondane. Yellow indicates a pass. That was the good one to Andre Johnson that set it up. And then Leach, 1 yard out, gets the touchdown.
And for Vontae Leach, his 2nd carry of his career. When he was in Green Bay, he never got to run the ball.
Brown's kick taken by Martinez. Broke free for a moment, stopped at the 38-yard line. So Jay Cutler coming off the best game of his career and needing 158 yards to pass 3,000 for the season. Has done that with 230 yards passing, but all that's bittersweet unless he can pull out a miracle John Elway-esque finish.
And it would take even John Elway would be a bit of a stretch now. But for Sage Rosenfels, his 4th quarter heroics continue. 5 for 5, 63 yards and a touchdown in the 4th quarter of this game. And there is at least a quarterback discussion going on right now in Houston.
Houston will let him complete that one across the middle. It goes to Scheffler.
And for the Denver Broncos, some hard realities now. They have gone through a lot of defensive linemen this season, and none of them work. Sam Adams, Gerard Warren, John Browning, Jimmy Kennedy, Kennard Lang, Simeon Rice. None of it worked out this season up front.
Screen pass to Young. Tripped up short of the first down by Okoye, the 20-year-old rookie from Louisville. John Lynch getting up there, said he would, after the season, assess whether he wanted to come back or not.
Well, he's had a good game tonight. It's kind of hard to pin it on him. But what you see is this Denver Broncos team, they're not efficient in the red zone. They don't seem to be able to run it at will the way they have in the past. Jay Cutler still makes mistakes. He makes wild throws. He needs to be a little bit more disciplined. But this is an offense that really has been second to none in the NFL over the past 10 years that Shanahan's been here.
Bennett almost picked it off. That's a couple tonight he's had a chance at. Intended for Scheffler. Scheffler has had a big receiving game with 7 catches, 100 yards. Marshall, 11 catches, 167 yards. But shut down since the first couple of minutes of the third quarter after the huge first half. Just 1 tick before the 2-minute warning. Where the clock stopped, they'll get 1 play away. Underneath again to Young. And the clock will stop for the 2-minute warning with 1:55 left. And the Texans on the way to keeping their playoff hopes alive.
Yes, it's a glove. It's a baseball glove.
For Wilson gloves and much, much more, visit NASN.com, your home for North American sports merchandise.
NASN brings you unrivaled coverage of the best sports North America has to offer. Get the best seats in the house for the biggest games in the best leagues 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Watch the NFL from preseason all the way to the playoffs with over 60 regular season games, the postseason, and live coverage of Super Bowl 42 from Phoenix. Get live coverage of every game of the World Series and don't miss an inning of the MLB regular season with up to 260 regular season games and the All-Star Game live. Experience the most comprehensive coverage of the NHL anywhere in Europe with over 200 live regular season games, the 2008 NHL All-Star Game, and the Stanley Cup Finals live. NASN takes you to pit lane in the high-octane world of NASCAR with live Busch Series racing and keeps you up to date with the Nextel Cup and Truck Series with daily episodes of NASCAR Now. Get courtside with the best conferences in NCAA college basketball with a packed schedule of games between the top teams and unrivaled coverage of March Madness. See the power and skill of the finest players in college football with full season and bowl series coverage, including all the BCS games live. And with all your favorite news, highlights, and analysis shows, including PTI.
Patrick Kearney's 13.5. Might still get one tonight. Kalu.
They're having some fun out there now, because when you get in these kinds of situations and you know the other team has to go to the straight drop back, that time it was Mario Williams who almost pushed Matt Lepsish right back into Jay Cutler. He is just having fun out there tonight. You're seeing the potential now. You're seeing what they saw. He's a big man. He has speed. He has power. He has quickness. And he's starting to feel it a little bit right now.
Log on to iwantnflnetwork.com to find out how to get the only television network dedicated to the NFL. That's NFL Network, your home for football 24/7. Well, we've given Williams a lot of credit, and Rosenfels. Houston with 4 possessions in this second half, 3 touchdowns in the 4 possessions. The only negative was the interception off a tipped ball. And Kyle Shanahan and Sage Rosenfels. Kyle may have to smile a little bit tonight when they have the Shanahan family reunion. And Rosenfels is all smiles.
Yeah, come on over, Mom, Dad. We're going to make you have a big party tonight.
4th down play. Cutler drills it complete to Walker. Stops short of the 1st down, it appears. Yes. And that means that the ball will go over for what, the 3rd time in this 2nd half. Greenwood and Bennett made sure there was no 1st down was gained. And so Houston about to go 7-7, but with a tough road remaining to realize those playoff hopes. Houston will play at Indianapolis and then host Jacksonville.
And really all the AFC will be watching one game this weekend for that last playoff spot when Buffalo travels to Cleveland. Cleveland sitting in a great spot if they could win that one. But if Buffalo goes in, pulls off the win, now all of a sudden there are a lot of things that could happen. A lot of teams drawn back in. And for the Houston Texans, congratulations. Their 7 wins matches their best win total ever. Back in 2004, they were 7-9. And Gary Kubiak's getting it done for this franchise.
And he may have found a quarterback tonight.
I tell you, I don't know how you take him out. I don't care if Matt Schaub's healthy or not healthy. This guy's won 3 ball games for you. He's 3-0 as a starter, Sage Rosenfels. And yeah, the league's all about production. It's not about who gets paid the most.
Wearing that badge of honor on his chin, the bandage, as he directs another victory by the Houston Texans. And again, an impressive 4th quarter. And we'll go back, and officially Williams got credit for a half sack on that last play. So 7 tackles, 3.5 sacks on the game, and 13 on the year, just a half sack behind the NFL lead.
Well, I hope he enjoys Hawaii, because I think he's making a trip across the pond this year.
This was what it took, and he deserves a vote, I believe. There's the AFC playoff picture. Jacksonville and Cleveland, you mentioned the wild card leaders, and Buffalo, Tennessee, Houston, and Denver still alive.
Yeah, and you still have the possibility that Cleveland could jump Pittsburgh, but the division winners kind of look set. And for the Texans, they're just trying to crawl into that number 6 spot, and the way they played tonight, they're still alive.
Well, they opened the dome roof for the first time this season. They may keep it open from now on, the way the Houston Texans played tonight. Gary Kubiak. And of course, we mentioned all the ties between these two teams. Shanahan and company coming into Houston and losing on the road tonight with playoff hopes alive.
Well, it's been a tough season for Mike Shanahan and company, and there's the hug from Kyle, and I'm sure they'll be talking a lot more later on this weekend.
Stay tuned now for the Home Depot post-game show. Coming up next, Tom Hammond for Chris Collinsworth saying so long.
The hard-hitting action of American football continues on NASN, the home of the NFL. This week, we feature 4 of the classic clubs of the NFC. Live Sunday night, one of football's oldest rivalries writes another chapter when the Washington Redskins battle the New York Giants. Then on Monday, the Chicago Bears charge into action against the Minnesota Vikings. Redskins Giants live Sunday night. Bears Vikings live Monday night. The NFL on NASN.
In this jersey, I pledge to wreak havoc on my opponent's plus-minus.
To make one-timers happen way more than once.
I pledge that my team will scrap for every single point on the schedule.
In this jersey, I pledge that holes are only holes if they're open.
Shop.nhl.com presents the RBK Edge jersey. All 30 teams reinvented for more strength, more speed, more belief.
In this jersey, I pledge to play for the logo on the front, not the name on the back.
What do you pledge? Visit shop.nhl.com for your jersey.
For Wilson baseball gloves and much more, visit NASN.com.
Hey owners, you know you can get all your American sports fix daily right here on NASN, your channel for North American sports. Join me and this merry band of journalists as we chew up, spit out all the sports of the day.
Why do you stop freaking matches at noon?
Exclusively on NASN. Hort!
Cheerio, no.
NASN brings you unrivaled coverage of the best sports North America has to offer. Get the best seats in the house for the biggest games in the best leagues 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Watch the NFL from preseason all the way to the playoffs with over 60 regular season games, the postseason, and live coverage of Super Bowl 42 from Phoenix. Get live coverage of every game of the World Series and don't miss an inning of the MLB regular season with up to 260 regular season games and the All-Star Game live. Experience the most comprehensive coverage of the NHL anywhere in Europe with over 200 live regular season games, the 2008 NHL All-Star Game, and the Stanley Cup Finals live. NASN takes you to pit lane in the high-octane world of NASCAR with live Busch Series racing and keeps you up to date with the Nextel Cup and Truck Series with daily episodes of NASCAR Now. Get courtside with the best conferences in NCAA college basketball with a packed schedule of games between the top teams and unrivaled coverage of March Madness. See the power and skill of the finest players in college football with full season and bowl series coverage, including all the BCS games, live. And with all your favorite news, highlights, and analysis shows, including PTI and Around the Horn, you won't miss a minute from any of your favorite sports all season long. Log on to NASN.com now and join the world of NASN, your leader in North American sports.
In the NFL today, there exists a type of player with an uncontrollable urge to put pen to paper, or just about anything else he can find. Poet is his name, and poetry is his game.
Oh, a little poetry, huh? Poetry.
But from whence came these men of meter who leave their lines of verse at the line of scrimmage? They started with basic rhyming.
They ain't, can't, stanks.
Then came alliteration.
Seam, Sam! Seam, Sam! Stay on the seam, Sam! Good on the seam, Sam!
From these simple seeds grew the rudiments of phrase.
Nah, baby, we ain't new to this. We true to this. Keep around with us, they're gonna come out black and blue to this.
Soon, they were quoting the classics verbatim.
Crust of bread, a corner to sleep in, a minute to smile, an hour to weep in. A pint of joy to a peck of trouble, and never laugh that the moans come double, and that is life.
Not content to run with the herd, the pigskin poet is a maverick, a broad-shouldered bohemian, sprung from a football tradition over 100 years in the making. Few remember that before he wrote the words, "Captain, my captain," Walt Whitman once captained the Pittsburgh Steelers, for whom he scored a memorable first touchdown.
And this is a deep handoff to Whitman. Whitman through a hole, still on his feet at the 25, the 20, 15, 10, touchdown Pittsburgh. Whitman has his first as a Steeler.
And then there was special teams demon Robert Frost, who once took the road less traveled by all the way to the end zone for the Cleveland Browns.
Bushman's out, it calls for a fair catch and dropped the ball, and it's recovered by Robert Frost. He picks it up and runs it. 15-10, touchdown!
In a close game, Frost's score made all the difference.
Robert Frost hugging the dog pound.
Yet one need not be a player to be a pigskin poet. Some of the game's most celebrated bards reside in the broadcast booth.
From time to time, I'll recite the original verse, for better or worse.
In 1975, Myron Cope commemorated the debut of the Terrible Towel in his seminal work, Ramblin' Andy Russell.
He ran 93 like a bat out of hell, and no one could see how he rambled so well. 'Twas easy, said Andy, and he flashed a crooked smile. I was snapped on the fanny by the Terrible Towel.
Read it again. Read it! Read it! Read it!
Sometimes all it takes to be a pigskin poet is the proper coaching.
We still got some things we can improve upon, we know that.
Here, Master John Gruden drills his lads on a line from Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. Et tu, Brute?
Let's everybody say A2, man. A2, 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 A2. We got a chance with this kind of effort.
Marty Schottenheimer has not forgotten the lessons of his school days.
I do remember we had an English class at the University of Pittsburgh. We had to try and memorize the rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. There was an ancient mariner, and he stoppeth one of three. By thy gray beard and quivering hand, wherefore thou stoppest me? It was the craziest thing I ever saw. Samuel Taylor Coleridge, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
Why does that have such an impact on you?
I don't know. It was maybe because it's a part of the innocent past.
Sometimes the past isn't just innocent, it's painful.
John Elway, 98.5-yard drive.
Perhaps no subject calls forth the muse like that of losing. Heart-sick times require a dose of William Blake.
Every night and every morn, some to misery are born. Every morn and every night, some are born to sweet delight. Some are born to sweet delight. Some are born to endless night.
Yet a single stanza can also salve the sting of the most crushing loss. Just ask the Buffalo Bills, who rebounded from a devastating defeat in Super Bowl 25 with the help of a poem.
On the plane, going back, I recalled a poem that was by an unknown British poet in the 15th century about a Scottish warrior. "Fight on, my men," Sir Andrew said. "A little I'm hurt, but not yet slain. I'll just lie down and bleed a while, and then I'll rise and fight again." Well, the next day, when the players came in for the team meeting, I'd had that posted on the bulletin board. After the meeting, about 8 or 10 of our players asked me if they could get a copy of it. And whenever we've had a particularly discouraging moment, somebody, I don't know who, has put that poem back up on the board.
Ultimately, all poetry is judged by the light it sheds on the human condition, a condition summed up by legendary